cracking, mi gente? This is your boy D once again, coming to you guys with a special guest, my boy Jay. We finna talk about a couple of things, and I'm gonna let him introduce himself. Go ahead, bro.
Well, for those who don't know, but I'm pretty sure y'all know, and I appreciate the love and support, man. Renegade Media on YouTube.
Let's get it. Um, I've been waiting to do this with him for a little while now, and like I always, I give him a shout out. I give people their props when they're due. And this man has been humble enough to help me in a lot of ways. We chop it up often, and not just on the YouTube tip, but as a man, we talk about life period, and we discuss a lot of good things. So today we're gonna bounce for a couple of topics, but in general, we're gonna be talking about our experience, what it meant from both of our perspective, from the north side, northerner home perspective to my perspective on a couple situations, and how we adapt into life being our own. So first of all, bro, I just want to congratulate you on everything you're doing. Uh, I commend you for the change you're doing, bro. I see a lot of change that you have done. I seen your earliest videos to your now videos, and I respect that. And your message actually inspired me to do a lot of things that I'm doing, growing and starting this thing off. So before anything, I commend you, and I'm proud to say that I can find myself. Uh, I can find you as a friend, bro.
Man, I appreciate it, bro. You already know, man. We talk all the time about everything, and I do my best. I'll do my best for anybody, man. When I invite them on as a guest, if it's their inspiration to start a YouTube channel and share their experience, it doesn't. I always try to tell everybody, man, it doesn't have to be about prison. Yes, prison, it's become a thing. Not everybody has a prison experience, but don't do it for the glorification, man. Just tell the experience of what you went through in life. But there's so many incredible stories out there from people that haven't even did prison time, but have been through a hell through life that can share that, and we all can engage from that. We all can relate to that. We all can have something to say, positive advice to give one another.
Yes,
It just
sir.
about prison. So anybody that wants to come on my channel and and help my audience recognize them and maybe gain an audience for them to tell their story, man, I'm more than welcome to it.
That's right. Thank you, bro. And it's true, man. He's a man who's work. Yeah, helped me through a lot of stuff. Even when I have a little simple question that might be seen silly, I ask him because sometimes we need guidance from other people, and we have put a little bit difference to the side. Well, big difference because from my perspective, I was an upstate so-called sureño, So our enemies we were thought was the norteños. So for us to have to sit down and have the chance to talk and later on become friends, I think it's a big step, and people are seeing that we're not just preaching this YouTube thing for the money or for the fame of the gain, but actually we're doing it for a good reason. And that was gonna be one of my questions. A lot of people have asked me that I misrepresent myself because I went to your channel acting like I was a norteño, and you and I both we never did that. But now, to the point where we are with the incidents that are transpiring inside prison, how does it feel to come home and actually have somebody that you can call a friend from a different type lifestyle and a different path, and that once upon a time you call it enemy?
Well, what the crazy thing about it is even before coming home and then developing relationships and friendships with individuals from a different side or from a different walk of life, dude, it wasn't until even on the main line I got cool with Sureños. I was like, man, these dudes are tight. Like I would kick it with them in the day room sometimes, knowing they had a banger in their pocket and I had a banger in my pocket, and we're just looking at each other like, bro, I'll stab you too. But I've had cool friendships. I've had Sureños let me borrow their cell phones. One of my cell phones got took. I've had Sureños on the main line give me 50 papers of black, which I didn't like. I didn't even want to be around it at the time. And be like, here, fool, it's on the strength. It's from the Cora, bro. Go sell it. What I mean? Get you some canteen. My perspective started to change little by little. On the streets, I was so brainwashed with all the norteño music and being surrounded by norteño neighborhoods and hardly seeing Southsiders. But when we did, they put in work just like we did. And the reality was like, man, they're just like us. They bang just like us. They're gonna defend themselves just like we would. We're just the aggressors because we're from Northern California. So when I went SNY and I started having cellies that were ex sureños, I was like, bro, there's no difference other than the side of the map, other than the side of California. Dudes think just like us, man. One of my best sellers, man. He was from Chiques, Highland Park, and his name is Chito. Dude, I was sold up with them for 4 months, probably or a couple months, probably the best seller I ever had. Never once argued, never once got into it, never once distrusted each other. Dude was just cool. All we did was wake up every morning, drink a shot of coffee, and we start telling. We had TVs, and we were just telling each other war stories from the streets. We didn't even want to watch TV no more, because he was a good conversationalist. The things he talked about, he taught me Sureño education. I would teach him Norteño education, and like the last 5 years of my prison term, I had a lot more cellies that were more Southerners than ex-Northerners. And I just learned, like, bro, there's no difference, bro. They're just gang banging like we are, just in a different part of a region. And just know that California is a little different because you have upstate Sureños that they're biased, but they have to be, because Northern California is overpopulated with the Northern faction.
Yeah.
So obviously they're going to be a little bit more dominant, more aggressive. But there's so many tales on YouTube now. We're starting to see a lot more Sureños publicly known in Northern California. And it just, that's how it really works, bro. Like, I just learned to put all that shit aside and say, you know what, bro, we're just, at the end of the day, we're all men. I'm gonna
Yeah.
bleed, you're gonna bleed, you're gonna put in work like I'm gonna put in work. And now that I'm doing YouTube, dude, if you look at my channel and my comments, a lot of people identify themselves. Hey, homie, I'm from Southern California. I'm from this body. I'm from this body. I'm from 18th Street. But I watch your channel, man. I fuck with you, man. That's something I love, bro. I got to learn. I got to look past that now, and I don't even see the gang ideology and the gang ties and the gang differences no more. To me, we're just all grown men. At the end of the day, accomplishing one goal, and that's just living life.
And that's a trip. That's a trip because like I was telling you earlier, when I came home, it was hard for me to adapt to a different lifestyle because we still got the mind thinking the mindset of criminals, and sometimes we run into people that we don't maybe don't want to even acknowledge they're there, but they're there. And it's a trip that you said that we now are at a point where we can see past that. When once upon a time we could even see past that, we could even see the color. Like if you were wearing certain color in a different area, it was on. It wasn't even a question where you were from, with do you bang or anything. And that created, I think, for a lot of us, a situation where we went to prison and did a long time, a lot of time behind the brainwash we got. And now we're seeing everything transpire, and then we're looking at it and we're realizing that we did it for nothing. And the other thing that also caught my mind when you were doing your videos was your videos were based on your experience, but also behind it was a positive message. You were actually trying to help people not go down the path. Was it your experience that led you to start thinking that way, or was it everything that was happening around you, you getting betrayed by both programs, the Northerners and then the Riders? What make you, or what transpired for you to start getting thinking that way too? At the end of every video you leave a positive message, because not a lot of people can do that, not a lot of people can see past that, but you done that. So what inspired you, what led you to start doing that?
Now, to be honest with you, I had a conversation with somebody, and it wasn't until my channel started really growing and I realized the significance of the popularity within the subscribers. I was like, man, like, I didn't expect to get past 8,000 subscribers, 10,000 subscribers. And when I did, I started saying, like, bro, I'm not gonna just sit here. I already identified myself as a rapper back then. I was already beefing with some Northern Cali rappers. I was already beefing with my whole neighborhood and the city I was living in. But that was just street stuff. I just looked at it like, but that's just gangbanging. That's normal. It wasn't. There's nothing to be impressed about. It was nothing to impress anybody else about. But once my channel started escalating, I was like, bro, like, I want to do something different. Like, why do I need a gangbang on the internet like I started off in the beginning? Why do I got to be that person? What's the point of being a thug? What is that going to accomplish by doing it on social media? And then I sat there one day, and I remember I was reading a couple of books. I have them right here. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to take these messages and I'm going to read this book, and I'm going to gain a perspective from whatever this chapter taught me. And I'm going to put that two and two together. Then I went even further, and I was like, man, I got a story to tell. And then I would go watch motivational speeches on YouTube, and they're like viral. They have like millions of views. And I would just listen to like just topics, people talking, Steve Harvey and everything. And whatever motivational speech they had when it came to life, I was like, bro, I'm gonna extract that, and I'm gonna put the same. I'm gonna mix it with my story, my message, and I want to create something positive. Because at the end of the day, if I was on YouTube saying, "Hey man, we was thugging, we was gangbanging, man, I had the red rag and it was creased up, we was bumping GUN, man, we saw these Southerners, we dumped on them, hell yeah, bro, that's what you're supposed to do." There's gonna be somebody listening out there that's gonna be inspired by it. In the same way that every time I got into a vehicle with a gun and somebody was playing some Northern Exposure, and you hear Woody say the S word, you're like, you know what? Let's go catch one slipping. If I was easily motivated off of a rap song to go put in work or a Brother Lynch song to go put in work, I can easily motivate somebody, not everybody, but somebody to see the realities of what the fuck goes on in prison and on the streets and say, you know what? Here's a positive messages from it. You gangbang with all your homies, thought he was down as hell, but when y'all got pulled over, he was the first one to tell. I'm like, is that how you want to be betrayed all your life? Is that who you want to give your life to? Instead of the mother that gave you life, or instead of the woman that's actually there with you in bed that gets up, makes you breakfast, confides in you, conforms in you, consoles you. That's what I wanted to do. And I told that particular person how I wanted to make that change. They decided to go their route. I went my route and I became successful. And I just said, hey, I'm onto something. And then, but I was still a writer then. But I was just like, bro, I'm just not gonna sit here and just brag about it and bang on people because it's not gonna get me nowhere. I knew it wasn't gonna get me nowhere. Well, it didn't get me nowhere before my YouTube channel. And then when I got betrayed on both sides, it was right around the time that my son was born. And that's just an eye opener for anybody. I don't care what anybody says. When I helped my son and I got to see my son like grow little by little and hold my fingers and smile at me, I was like, bro, I'll be damned if my son grows up and just sees me as a thug and sees that I was a low life and sees that I was encouraging kids his age to pull up a gun and shoot somebody for the wrong color or the wrong baseball hat. And the more and more he grows, he's already 9 months, about to be 10 months. And I just look at him like, bro, I don't want my kid surrounded by these kids. I don't want my kid to be taught anything by these kids. So I got to do what's best for my son now and my kids to know that I don't want them associated in no way, shape, or fashion. I don't even want them to know about gangs. So that was my best approach. And like I said, it took time. It took a lot of time. And the more I seen people gravitate to the idea of somebody not glorifying the lifestyle, but actually talking about it and giving a positive message and showing the people may say that I'm not making a change, but nobody knows what's in my DMs every day. All the
Yeah.
mothers show their kids, all the mothers that go to visit and see their kids and talk to them about my channel. I've seen so much of a difference that people just won't see. But as long as I can see it, it's an encouragement every day for me to get up and say, I'm gonna do a video. And it takes a lot of time. Like people just think I just come off the head. Like I
No,
sit here and think of the story. And like I told you guys, I read these books that I have right here. I'll read. I'll look up like on Pinterest motivational speeches and quotes. See if I can apply it to a concept of the story that I'm doing. I mean, I put up a lot. I do a lot for a video, and I just hope that it's working for the best and not the worst.
actually, it is, and I can tell you from a personal experience that it is because, like I said, I seen you. I went back to look at your old videos, and little by little, start seeing the transformation you were having, and little by little, start seeing the different person. See, when we in prison, you won't let me lie. We learn how to tell different characters or different flaws in individuals. We learn how to read people. And I start watching your old videos, going towards the new ones now. I start seeing the transformation that happen, and that's what gravitated me to a channel. Like I said, I told you before, I looked into a different channels, YouTube channels and whatnot. Not everybody pulled me and gave me that little intriguement to go look further. Your channel did because of the message that was behind it. Even though sometimes we catch the end of it for it may be a comment or something that we say, but that is very true. People don't know. I had experience just recently. An uncle sent me a message through my Instagram and then through my email saying that he put one of my videos when I first went to prison to his nephews, and his nephew was trying to be a gang member, and the dude almost cried, and the kid now is doing good in school. That's what we get out of, at least me and you. That's what we're doing it for. That message that we can get, and somebody say you at least helping me think different, or you at least helping me see life different. And that's what tripped me out with you. You keep doing it every day. It's a motivation. At least for me, it's a motivation. I see you videos and I see you grow. And even though you don't let the haters or their commentaries bother you, deep down something that does, but it inspires you. I seen that some of the comments that I done to you what it does, it aggravates you to become better. And I'm seeing that because most of your videos every single day that I looked at it, I check out your channel to see just what's been going on with new video, and I see that you keep pushing hard. And like you said, it takes time. Believe me, it takes time. I come home from work and sometimes I'm learning, so you a little bit more faster than me. Sometimes it takes me 2 hours to edit a video. For you, it might be a little bit faster, but it takes time. But at least you know now that you're doing something good. At least from my perspective, my point of view, you are, bro. You changing a lot of people's life. At least you gave me that little push that I needed to start thinking different. Because like you said before, we always come home with the mentality, oh, we're tougher than everybody. We done this, we game banging for so long. And it tripped me out when I saw your interview with the with that person you did the interview about Renegade with Norteños, about how your career transpired when you got hit by your own boy, how he played you. And then other thing that I saw through your video was that dispute you had with the dude from Playboys, the president. And was that something, was that an eye opener for you to say, you know what, I'm good, that everybody turned it back on you? Or you use that and say, you know what, I'm gonna keep pushing and I'm gonna just not give a damn? Was that an eye opener? Was your child the only motivation that you got, or was the betrayals that kept happening constantly was more than a push for you to make a different change?
Um, the um, the whole situation with Snoop is what brought me onto YouTube. Like I said, I told everybody my I had ulterior motives in the beginning. I was gonna create this revolution. I was gonna create this resistance. I was gonna split the rider movement, and we was gonna overthrow him. I was gonna have everybody turn his back. I was just gonna shut him down and get him to fall, and then have everybody else realize like, man, you could be your own man. You could be your own voice. We're all equal. And then I got caught up in life beefing with the Northerners where I wasn't really paying attention to the rider politics in prison, but I was getting phone calls here and there. But that wasn't my inspiration. I've always stood up to that man. He knows it. He can deny it all he wants, but he denies anything when it comes to smear campaigns on himself or when it conflicts with his image. That wasn't my motivation. My motivation was, I've always learned. I've always been a leader. I've always knew how to be a leader. This was my time to be a leader for the rider movement and show them like, bro, just stand up to tyranny. That's what we're based on. And it encouraged a lot, but it also divided a lot. It got a lot of people hurt. And throughout the time, like I said, I got distracted with like just doing YouTube every day that I wasn't paying attention to the prison politics, and then I wasn't paying attention to the streets because I was always working. So after a while, people just forgot about that because I just started telling YouTube and started being a YouTuber where they just gravitated back towards him, and instead they said, you know what, we've followed you this long, we heard you this long, we hear everything you said, we respect it, but we still want to be part of the movement. We don't want to be in grab bag races. We're gonna side up with him, and that was the betrayal. And the betrayals when I find it wasn't about the betrayal in the sense of the rider movement. It was the betrayal that reminded me, like, dude, like why do you keep doing this to yourself? Like, why do you want to inspire to be a gang member and a gang leader so bad? But it's all I knew. Even after I came out of jail, like I came out of jail keeping in touch with all the riders in Northern California and the Central Valley. That's all I would talk to every day. Phone calls. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you guys doing this? This is now. I'm making music for the riders. That's all I was focused on. And then, messing with women and just working. My mind was so isolated in the beginning. I wasn't thinking about being successful. I wasn't thinking about a career. I wasn't thinking about life insurance. I wasn't thinking about building trust funds for my kids. I wasn't thinking none of that. I just wanted to be a gang member. So finally, when I just got betrayed again, it was just another reminder of the time that I got betrayed the first time. And I was like, damn, bro, like, why do you feel the need to be accepted by dudes that are already in prison, ain't coming home, to be accepted by the streets as a gang member when in reality, the gang lifestyle on the streets is a small fraction of society. And I was just like, bro, like, what are you doing, bro? You're 32, 33, and all you give a damn about is another man's opinion that's a gang member. So when I finally just said, you know what, enough's enough, I'm done. My YouTube was already a success, and I don't take it for granted. And that's why, a lot of people were like, bro, you got demonetized, bro. I wouldn't even be doing it for free. I wouldn't be dropping no videos for free. No, you guys, the YouTube audience gave me this. So I just continued with it. Like, bro, they deserve this now. I deserved it
Yeah.
in the beginning. They helped me out through all this time. Why would I just because I got demonetized just say, you know what, forget it, forget them videos?